There can never be a time when you are not exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to do. And so with that awareness, that's why this lesson moves so perfectly into adding to that, because it's saying, you know who you are. You know where you should be. Now, how do we see this clarity? Well, we use a vision. We use a vision that is not us, but in us. And that's the vision of the Holy Spirit. That's the vision of the Christ. That's the vision that God has for us, where it says in this lesson, 263, my holy vision sees all things as pure. It says, Father, your mind created all that is. Now, that's not talking about the world, by the way. That's talking about what is eternal. That is you. That is us. That's why knowing who we are is so important. We are not, it's been said, our business cards. You know, so many times we say, well, what are you? Well, I'm a mother, or I'm a father, or I'm a business person, or I'm a secretary, or I'm a teacher. We all come up with the things that we are based on the world and circumstances. What this is saying is what God created is all there is, and that's you, not the physical you, but the truth about you, the essence in you. I was telling you last week that we had visited this lady who was on hospice right now, a friend's mother, Millie, that I was mentioning. And I was talking to her, and Paul and I went and visited her again right before they decided she has her feeding tube now taken out, and they're letting her have more medication so that she can kind of go into her process of moving through the death process. And so when we were in there to see her, we had a chance to talk about, which I use all the time. It's not a new thought. People use this all the time with people to understand what the death process is. It's just like a butterfly, right? A caterpillar goes into their cocoon and then emerges as this beautiful butterfly. But the thing to remember is all the time that the caterpillar, the little lowly caterpillar, was crawling along on the ground with all those little legs and that furry little body, the potential of the butterfly was always inside of it, right? It always was a butterfly, even when it seemed to have its lowly existence as the caterpillar. And that's important for us to know, because our lowly existence in this world, that we think this is what we are, this caterpillar, we're really this beautiful, holy child of God that can never be diminished by the world. So we may be crawling along like that little caterpillar, but inside of us is what? The potential, the truth of who we are. I shouldn't even use the potential. That's only here. It seems like it's the potential. What's inside of us is this spirit that is not limited by a lowly caterpillar existence. That's only in our minds, right? That's where it is. So this says, Father, your mind created all that is, all life that is, right? Your spirit entered into it. Your love gave life to it. That's the truth. And that love, that life, can never be diminished. We can only think it can be diminished. We can only choose, when we are the butterfly existence, to dwell in the caterpillar. You know, that's why when I was sitting with Millie, I was saying one of my favorite, I love the 23rd Psalm. You know, if people don't know A Course in Miracles, you can take quotes that people know or maybe grew up with, and you can help them understand it in a new perspective. That's what I like about the 23rd Psalm, which says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, it says. But you can think, I'll fear nothing. Yea, though I seem to walk or dwell in what seems to be difficult, challenging experiences. That's what death is. That's what the valley of the shadow of death is fearful thoughts, judgmental thoughts, limiting thoughts, depressive thoughts, unable thoughts, incapable thoughts. Yea, though I dwell in these limitations. Now, I didn't say all this to Millie, by the way. I'm just telling you now. But yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, these limiting thoughts, I will fear nothing. Why? What's the next line? For thou art with me, right? Thou art with me. And then what does he also say? He says, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Because this was a prayer for the shepherd, okay? And what was the most important thing to the shepherd at the time was their rod and their staff. That was their lifeline. You know, they needed that. everything we need will be provided for us. Those things, they comfort me. And also, God will prepare whatever I need. He prepares comfort before me in the presence, it says, of mine enemies, right? But that means enemy thoughts. These limiting thoughts we might carry to the table with us. These lowly thoughts we sometimes carry with us. Thou anointest my head with oil. What is that idea? That's the most loving thing you can do is to, when you baptize a baby, many churches, when they baptize babies, what do? They basically anoint them with a little bit of water, right? It's a loving gesture. So when he anoints your head with oil, it's just how precious you are to him. And in that awareness, what does it say? My cup runneth over. The joy that you feel knowing that, knowing who you are, using a vision that gives you that kind of clarity. That's exciting in life. It says, surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell where? In the house of the Lord forever. Forever. And that is the truth. That is the truth. When you look through this, that's the truth. That's what this is saying. Your mind entered all that is. Your spirit also entered into it. And love gave life to it. So it says, and would I look upon what you created as if it could be made sinful? Am I going to have my light diminished? We light these candles to ignite this truth, to symbolize it, to make it more focused for us. Would I live my life as if that can be diminished? No. It says, I would not perceive these dark and fearful images because a madman's dream, a dream, is hardly fit to be my choice instead of all the loveliness with which you bless creation, all its purity, its joy, and its eternal, quiet home in you. What? To me, this is so similar to that 23rd Psalm. Why would I dwell in the valley of the shadow of death when my cup runneth over? When goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, that I shall dwell in that house of the Lord forever, by using his vision, by knowing who I am, and by letting his vision lead the way for me. That's what we're asked to do. And this is what's so beautiful about Christmas, is there's a magical sense in people, if you will, that miracles are possible. That these potentials can happen. It's mystical. It's possible. The potential is there. Well, it's always been there because we're not that little caterpillar crawling along on the ground. We're the butterfly that's inside. And that's what we need to focus on.